For today's poetry reading, I thought I would read a selection of poems by Richard Brautigan. Brautigan is, in my opinion, an unsung author of the beat generation. I'd never heard of him until I happened to be roommates with a juggler of all things. I know that sounds very much like a Richard Brautigan story, but he was subletting from my other roommate, and he had noticed that I was reading some Bukowski books, and he was like, "Have you ever heard of Richard Brautigan?" And I was like, "No, I have not." And I think the word quirky is overused, but not all of his stuff hits, but In Watermelon Sugar is one of my very favorite books, or I guess it's really more of a novella. You read his stuff and you just get the sense that this guy was probably felt very isolated, but also had just a wonderful sense of humor. So he's got a couple great poems in here. I think these come from, this collection is The Pill versus the Springhill Mine Disaster, which, all right. The Castle of the Cormorants. Hamlet with a cormorant under his arm married Ophelia. She was still wet from drowning. She looked like a white flower that had been left in the rain too long. "I love you," said Ophelia, "and I love that dark bird you hold in your arms." Big Sur, February 1958. I changed her bedroom. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is Lovers. I changed her bedroom, raised the ceiling 4 feet, removed all of her things and the clutter of her life, painted the walls white, placed a fantastic calm in the room, a silence that almost had a scent, put her in a low brass bed with white satin covers, and I stood there in the doorway, watching her sleep, curled up, with her face turned away from me. This one is called Sonnet. The sea is like an old nature poet who died of a heart attack in a public latrine. His ghost still haunts the urinals. At night, he can be heard walking around barefooted in the dark. Somebody stole his shoes. This one is called Starhole. I sit here on the perfect end of a star, watching light pour itself toward me. The light pours itself through a small hole in the sky. I'm not very happy, but I can see how things are far away. And the last one for today is Albion Breakfast. This one was written for Susan. Last night, here, a long, pretty girl asked me to write a poem about Albion, so she could put it in a black folder that has Albion printed nicely in white on the cover. I said yes. She's at the store now getting something for breakfast. I'll surprise her with this poem when she gets back. Happy Sunday, everybody.